Hi, Susan Niskotsky Smith here, and I know that this is not my normal time to prep, Mondays at 5:30. However, I really wanted Charles here while I was prepping. So Charlie is here before he has to go to school. So we're going to give some people time to join us before we get started. We're just going to wait a few minutes. While we're waiting, we will mention that we are using meal plans from 5 dinners in 1 hour or less. It's not called 5 dinners in 1 hour or less, but I say or less because once you get used to the meal plan, once you've picked your favorites in your meals and everything and you're working, it takes pretty much a half hour to 40 minutes to prep 5 meals. A lot of people take advantage of that extra time and plan for 10 or more meals, put them in the freezer. This is a great program for expectant mothers, for recovering from surgery, for being down and out, maybe having an injured hip. This is also a great program for using with the in-laws or your parents. Maybe you want to make a whole freezer full of food, so all they have to do is pull that food out and cook it. And then usually the cleaning options are 1 pan, maybe 2. I really try to plan 1 pan meals or 1 sheet pan or even like 5 ingredients or less. Charles, why don't you go see who's joining us, or oh, look at this. Hi, Veronica, thank you for joining us. Diane, welcome. Bessie Brooks, hi from North Carolina, she says. Well, hi from Houston, Texas. Steve Pankow, Susan Smith, formerly Susan Niskotsky. Giovanni Gonzalez, thank you for joining us. You said last night you would. Nancy Miller, welcome. Candy. And Veronica is now telling me she's from the Oregon-Washington border. Love that. When I first met my husband, which was 29 years ago, actually almost 30, one of the first places he took me was upper state Washington, up around Seattle. We went and we looked at Mount Rainier post volcanic explosion. I think it was Mount Rainier. I probably have the wrong mountain. And half of the side of the mountain was dead and the other half was alive. Love those hearts I'm seeing. So if you're joining us, and if you've never seen myself or my son Charles or my son King Charles prep a meal before, send a thumbs up or a smile, because first timers is very exciting to watch the program. Those of you that have seen us before, we're going to expect more. We're going to expect a heart because we know that you're loving us. I'm going to give the phone custody back to Charlie so that he can talk me through and he can answer. Who else is joining us, Charles?
Shannon, Sandy, Cindy, Crystal, Mara, Ricky, Veronica, Candy. You already got this.
And a whole bunch of love to all of you. I see the hearts going on the side of the screen. We love it. Last time we prepped, Charlie and I had, previously we've prepped on the Make 5 Dinners Big page, and we've had several thousand, 15, 18, 20, 25,000 viewers see us. There were some glitches. We're prepping on different pages, but now we are on my personal page, and on this page our record is 1,400 views. So please share the love, spread the wealth. Our goal is to hit 1,500 views this week. Just so you know, what we're planning tonight is we're going to make barbecue pork chops with rainbow veggies. It's from the February menu, Clean Eating. We're going to make chicken lasagna and sweet teriyaki chicken thighs from the classic menu from April, which is currently the plan. And then we have 2 really old favorites. One is called Better Than Mom's Meatloaf, and I personally think I make an excellent meatloaf, but I will make this meatloaf because it's so tasty and wonderful and easy to make. And then a family favorite, Dale and I love this one. It's called Black Bean and Corn Quesadillas. It's a vegetarian meal. I see some more joiners. Charles, what can you tell me about who's joining?
Caroline, Gina, Bessie, thank you for the share.
Thank you. Everybody share. So I think the one that we'll make first is the meatless one, which is black bean and corn quesadillas. This is so easy to prep, so tasty, And people that have wanted additional protein have added seasoned taco meat, or ground beef, or they've done shredded chicken. Some people have even done shredded or chopped portobello mushrooms. But I'm going to make it the way I know my sweetheart Dale loves it. Dale is my husband. We've been married 29 years. For those of you that may be new, we have 2 sons, Charlie, who's helping me tonight, he's 19, and then Casey. Casey is 20 and a student at Stephen F. Austin, sophomore at Stephen F. Austin. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our ingredients for the black bean and corn quesadillas. I've got some onion, some salsa, some black bean, some frozen corn, some cumin, chili powder, Monterey Jack cheese, and crushed red peppers. I think that'll set me up. I'm going to pull my recipes over. I did put these up to remind me of what ingredients to pull out. If you're not familiar with the plan, when you subscribe to 5 Dinners in 1 Hour, you get recipes each month. They give you the ingredients needed for assembly, the assembly instructions, and then the separate instructions for cooking day. They also give you, and I know that's backwards on your screen, and I'm sorry for that, they also give you a grocery list in order of your stores. So like the produce is together, the bread is together, the meats are together. And it makes shopping so easy, and it helps me. Whoops.
People love your blouse.
Thank you for compliments on my blouse. I came straight from work, so I haven't changed into my normal t-shirt. The organized grocery list is such a great thing because it keeps me on budget. I don't veer off and get all those extra things that I would normally get, and I stay on plan. All right, so the first ingredient I need to add is my can of black beans. But I don't want all the gas from normal canned beans. So I'm going to put it in a strainer, and then I'm going to run water gently over those beans, and I'm going to rinse away that carbonated fluid and some of that packaging juice. And that's where all the carbonation and 75% of the gassiness of beans comes from. So I've just gently rinsed it. I'm draining it. I am using bags this week. I'm so sorry for those of you. I did try some glass items, and I'm going to have some in glass. But I've added my black beans. And then it calls for a cup of frozen corn. I'm eyeballing that. As some of you know, I don't always measure everything. We're a big corn family, so I'm putting more corn than less corn. It calls for onions, and the onions are optional. Charles, I'm going to need your help with this package. I'm sorry. Guys, I've been a teacher for so many years, and before that, a keyboarding insurance claim specialist, and it has resulted in me having carpal tunnel really bad, and I have no grip strength. So, Charles, we're doing 3 tablespoons of onions. It calls for a chopped white onion, but Dale really likes red onions or purple onions, whatever you call them. So I'm going to go with Dale's favorite. Dale has been away staying with his mom for the last 3 to 4 days, so I'm really missing my honey, so I figure I will spoil him, make his favorite, and then when he comes in tomorrow evening, we will have those black bean quesadillas. And at first he turned his nose up at them because they're vegan. But then he decided that they were some of the most wonderful things he'd ever tasted. All right, it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper. I'm just going to do a shake because I don't want it to be really spicy. It calls for some cumin. Again, just a shake, but that's that spicy, or not spicy, but smoky kind of Mexican flavor. And then it calls for some chili powder. 1 tablespoon. I need to, I really want to measure that because you can go overboard with chili powder. That was a tight squeeze there, Charles. Oops, on my blouse. then the last ingredient is 2 cups of Monterey Jack cheese. This is one thing that most people don't always check, but this container, although it says 8 ounces and 8 liquid ounces make a cup, 8 ounces of shredded cheese actually makes 2 cups. It says it in very tiny print, 2 cups serving. So 1 bag of cheese, although it says 8 ounces, is 2 cups. So we're going to put 2 cups of the cheese in there. And then it calls for, I'm missing something.
Shannon had surgery for carpal tunnel November 2015, and Janae had 2 surgeries for carpal tunnel in 2007.
And have things resolved for you all and you're feeling great? Because I'm coming up on the summer, and as a teacher I have my summers off. Thanks for sharing that. I've been thinking about doing it. And then it calls for the optional brown sugar or honey. Dale wanted me to leave this out the first time I made it, and I snuck it in. And then he just really thought it was incredible. So we are adding that optional honey, and we are done with 1 dinner. This is my black bean and corn quesadillas. I have marked my bag with a ginormous F. F for freezable. This will be good in the freezer. So I will probably freeze this tonight after we prep. And I will do that with the intention of having this Friday or late in the week. I will do some more mixing with it as the week goes on. I might mix it, might leave it in the fridge, mix it a couple times, let it season before I freeze it. But I marked my bag with an F for freezer. I also put on here meatless, so if my son is looking for something with meat, he'll know that it's meatless. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing the love. And I put the directions on here, 400 degrees for 15 minutes or until brown. The way you prep them, you take a flour tortilla, or you can take a corn tortilla. You could take a wheat-based tortilla for health. You could even take a veggie tortilla that's made out of a vegetable so that you cut your carbs even lower. You put that tortilla, you put about a 1/4 cup, maybe a little more of the mix onto the tortilla. You top it with another tortilla, and you either spray it with Pam, or I prefer to melt some butter and brush the melted butter on it before I cook it on cooking day. So 1 meal down. Charles, I noticed you spilled my onions.
Gina can't pick up heavy things, cast iron or heavy things.
Oh no.
And Karen King had her surgery done by Dr. Crouch, Fondren Group, Houston.
Thank you for sharing that. Those of you that don't know the reason she shared that, we're coming to you from Katy, Texas, which is a suburb of Houston, Texas. My husband and I have been married 29 years. We've lived in this house for about 20 years. We're raising 2 of our adopted foster children, Charlie and Casey, and loving every minute of it. So much so I needed to free up time and save money to do more things as a family, and this plan gave that to us. This plan also helped me with my diabetic health and my hypertension. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The next thing I'm prepping is sweet teriyaki chicken, and it's intended to be chicken legs, but I am making thighs. I'm making thighs for 2 reasons. King Charles loves legs, the rest of us don't, and thighs are much less expensive than breasts, so I'm trying to save some money. So it tells me in my prepping to put my broccoli in a large bag. So we're going to pour the broccoli in here. And then it tells me to put my chicken. And I have these 8 beautiful chicken thighs that were on sale at the grocery store. It tells me to put my chicken. Oh, Charles, I'm afraid I'm going to spill that.
Thank you so much, guys, for the 14 shares. Let's see if we can hit 20 by the end of this video.
How about, let's go for 40 shares by the end of the video. Let's go by 20 shares. Let's try for 20 shares by the end of just prepping this one dish, the sweet teriyaki chicken. And I'm doing thighs instead of legs.
You heard that, guys. 20 shares by the end of this dinner.
Okay, so we have my broccoli, we have my chicken. Again, I have ingredient directions. It says on here what day I put it in, that it says to cook it at 450 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until done. Thighs cook quickly. And then it says to do the broccoli at the same temperature, but only for 10 to 15 minutes. So when you're doing this, you're going to want to do this on one pan. Put your thighs on one side, maybe 3/4 of the pan, and get them cooking. And then about 20 minutes in, pour your broccoli next to them on the same pan, and they can cook on the same pan. All right, the ingredients are very simple. It's a 1/2 cup of teriyaki.
Laura made sweet teriyaki chicken before tonight.
It's teriyaki sauce. Oh, my little scraper.
Is the sweet teriyaki chicken a new recipe?
It is a new recipe. It's on the April plan. It's April Classic. April Classic. So it's this month Classic. So it calls for teriyaki. It calls for honey.
What kind of teriyaki sauce do you like?
You know what? I like teriyaki sauce that you buy at a really good Benihana restaurant or a really good Asian restaurant. However, I didn't have access to that or opportunity, so I bought Kikkoman. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, at the recommendation of a friend. So we've put in the teriyaki sauce, we've put in the honey. It says to mix the sesame seeds with it. So I do have some sesame seeds.
Becky shaded our video.
What is, she shaded our video?
I think she meant shared.
I think she probably means shared, and that's fine. And we're going to mix up this sauce. And then it says to pour half over the chicken. Charles, can you come hold open that bag for me, sir? This one. We're going to put half on the chicken. And then Charlie's going to smoosh that around. And then we're going to put half on the broccoli. And again, these are intended to be done on one dish, so you only have light cleanup. But you're going to have to start the chicken about 25 minutes sooner than the broccoli. Thank you, Charles. So we have, we are done with our Asian, our sweet teriyaki. On that day that I cook them, I'm not lying, I will take some additional teriyaki sauce, some additional honey, and a little bit more of the sesame seed, and I will make some dipping sauce for the men in my life. But that's our second meal. Sweet teriyaki chicken. Dale told me that he's getting sick of chicken, and that if I'm going to serve chicken dishes, Dale is my husband, that I needed to make sure they were tasty,
Somebody
spicy.
commented something that would help with Dad not liking this.
What is that?
Add pineapple.
Oh, yes. Pineapple is a great addition to meals, but I will warn you from having made the Hawaiian beef, depending on how long your pineapple sits with your protein, pineapple is very acidic, and it can break down the meats and the fibers and make them kind of smushy. So I like to do my pineapple added dishes the day 1 or day 2, or I like to reserve the pineapple on the side and I like to add it later. Okay, so we are moving on. We've got our black bean and corn quesadillas.
Darla says to grill it with pineapples, but we don't have a grill.
Well, we don't have a grill yet, but we will invest in a grill. I'm going to do another easy one.
Yeah, she says just don't mix it together.
I'm just going to do another easy one. Family favorite. Everybody that knows Charlie knows 2 things. He hates vegetables and he loves barbecue sauce. And this time, I actually bought his favorite barbecue sauce.
Hickory smoked.
Hickory smoked. And we just buy the cheap little brand. We buy the Kraft because it's on sale for $1.19 a bottle at our local Kroger. So what we're going to do here is we are going to cut our rainbow veggies. Charlie, I forgot a knife today. I'm so unorganized. That's what I get for rushing home. Rushing home and trying to get here. Somebody's knocked at the front door. Maybe one of the dogs got out. I'm going to let you take care of that, Charles. Somebody knocked at our front door. It's either a delivery. Charlie doesn't know this, but I bought him a piece of furniture for his bedroom. He's been wanting a bedside table. And so I have my Amazon Prime is delivering that. That could be what is knocking at our door. And then the other thing is we've been having to repair our backyard fence because it's about 15 years old. And our dogs are getting out in little areas and pieces. So not sure who was knocking. Hopefully it's the delivery guy with some wonderful treat for Charlie. Charlie, who was it? A delivery?
No, it was Asia looking for Deshaun.
Oh. So it was just your friend from the hood. I was just telling them that I'm expecting a delivery both today and tomorrow. So grateful that you all were able to join us today instead of our normal Saturday or Sunday, because Charlie has been working some long extra hours at Taco Bell, and I love to have my son prep with me. It's time that we can spend together and enjoy. So I'm going to put my veggies in one bag. I'm doing that because Charles doesn't like the rainbow veggies. On cooking day, I will cook them side by side on the same sheet pan. I'll put the pork at one end, I'll put the veggies at the other. He'll be able to just pick and choose his pork chops off of there. I know a lot of you clean out the white rib from your pepper, and I clean out some of it, but I also leave some of it. I really don't mind. I don't think it alters the taste any, and I like as much natural. Thank you, I see those hearts. I don't know if those hearts are love for Charlie, or if those hearts are love for leaving that white vein in, or if those are just love because you love me. But I'll take them. I'll take those hearts anytime, as will Charles. Charles, anything you'd like to share about barbecue pork chops?
They're my favorite. No, they're not. That's a lie.
Okay, so share with everybody what your favorites are.
We haven't had it in a while, but the shrimp.
The shrimp scampi?
Yeah.
We just had it last week.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what else?
That's it. That's my favorite.
What else?
That's my favorite.
I hear you saying shrimp scampi is your favorite. What else? Barbecue pork chops. What else?
Pork chops really good, but only when it's made with hickory because it gives that smoke flavor that it needs. Okay,
so if I made it with original, you think, like if you weren't here and I prepped and I used original barbecue sauce, do you think you'd know the difference?
Yeah, it would be as smoky.
I don't think you'd know the difference.
I think I do.
So these are my rainbow veggies, and we're going to do our pork chops. Charlie swears he knows the difference. It's okay, whether he does or he doesn't. Sir?
A Mexi melts are easy.
Why are we talking about Mexi melts?
Because somebody wants me to make them one.
Oh, yes. For those of you that are new to us, Charlie works at Taco Bell. And we were all going on about the nacho cheese fries, but they're no longer there. They are now featuring Mexi melts.
No, triple melts.
I'm sorry, triple melts. So we are done with our third meal.
On that topic, go ahead and stop by Taco Bell, get yourself the new triple melt burrito or nachos. We also have new nacho box, triple melt nacho box.
This one couldn't be any easier. Pork chops, pour in about a cup of barbecue sauce, and you are done. So we have 3 meals, down and dirty. Moving on to our next meal. I want to put the salsa away, the teriyaki, the barbecue on the refrigerator. shelf here in my refrigerator I'm reserving for the bagged meals. Okay, so we are moving on to, it's called Better Than Mom's Meatloaf. So I'm going to need a large bowl. So if you joined the program after around August or September, you may not have seen Better Than Mom's Meatloaf prepped. So, in case y'all want to run get cameras, or you want to share it with your best friend, or you want to tag your best friend, it's time. Better Than Mom's Meatloaf.
Welcome to all you out that are just now joining in.
The ingredients are the blend of onions and peppers that you can find in your freezer section, 2 eggs.
I don't know what, she said it before, but I don't know what Gina means. Janae?
Janae means
I don't know what she means by it. She loves your Pyrex.
Oh, she means this. This is classic Pyrex pattern. It's maybe 40 or 50 years old.
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
And you can't always get it anymore. I got it at my wedding 29 years ago. All right, so we have our 3 pounds of hamburger, our 2 eggs, our onion pepper blend. We have 6-ounce can of tomato paste, cumin, crushed red pepper, chili powder. I'm not sure that those are ingredients, but they were sitting there and I grabbed them. Okay, so we're going to take the cumin, the crushed red pepper, and the chili powder away. They're from a different recipe. We need a 1/4 cup of flour. This would be a great time. Y'all are laughing at me. That's fine. It's okay. It just would have been a spicy meatloaf, and it wouldn't have been better than my mom's. A 1/4 cup of flour. This would be a great time to substitute one of those lower carb flours, or a whole wheat flour, or something that might be gluten-free flour. And we need Italian spices, and we need bacon, sliced bacon. That's probably what makes it better than my mom's meatloaf. My mama never used bacon.
Diane Savage has the same Pyrex bowl from her wedding day too.
How long ago was your wedding, Diane? I have a nested set of these. There's a large, medium, small, and then a little tiny petite one. All right, I have decided to try something new with this meatloaf. I bought myself some loaf pans that have these tops that you put in, like you would get pasta or an Italian side dish at a restaurant. And I did this because I want to split it in 2 and I want to freeze it. And on here I've written, I know you're going to see it backwards, but I've written date night meatloaf. So since Charlie has a tendency to not like these onions and peppers, I usually leave them out, but this time I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to make 2 small loaves for Dale and I to share on date night. So I can just freeze them, I can pull them out, I can pop them in. The cardboard can be switched over. But here's the thing, when I cook them, I'm actually going to put them on a cookie sheet. I'm going to spray it with Pam, line it with foil. And then, because these are so deep, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and clip this side, and a pair of scissors and clip this side, the corners, and then I'm going to fold the edges down. I'm going to do this so that the oil does not sit around the meatloaf and congeal on it and cook on it and kind of cook it way down and make it really greasy. I want to have those butterflied edges spread flat on that cookie sheet to allow the oil to move away from the meat and to make it the best meal possible for my husband.
You should cut the corners then.
I will. I'll cut like here, and I'll cut in each corner. But I'll cut here. I'm going to cut in the middle of the long side to make it easier to fold down. But Charles is right. You have to snip all 4 corners. What is everybody saying about my great idea of prepping into 2 loaf pans and making date night meatloafs?
Well, I think you're going on date night now.
I am going on date night. One of these nights when Charlie's gone, we're going to eat at home on date night, and then maybe we'll see a movie together, or maybe we'll just snuggle on the couch.
Diane Savage has you beat by 3 years.
Oh, 32. Wow. My parents are, I think, around 65. So I'm putting 3 pounds of hamburger. I'm putting my frozen pepper onion blend. I'm putting my Italian seasoning. Melody, I hope you're watching. Have you seen Melody join us yet, Charles?
Melody?
Melody Williams. Italian seasoning. 2 eggs. Just checking my egg for damage before I let it drop into the bowl. Checking my egg for damage. Blood spots, brown spots, decay marks,
No, I haven't seen a Melody
icky
yet.
poos. Okay, I'm going to add my flour. Going to add my tomato paste, and I'm going to need that thing that was in my teriyaki sauce, so I'm going to rinse it off.
Gina says her and her husband would have been married 21 years this year.
I take it that he has passed. I'm sorry for your loss. It has been a long, lovely, sometimes difficult 29 years. But I love my husband, I love my sons. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes they make me want to strangle them. Right, so I think I have all my ingredients.
What meal are you making?
I am making Better Than Mom's meatloaf. I'm putting on my gloves. The gloves, you can get them at the grocery store, a whole box of like 200 gloves for like $1.99. I'm putting these on because I'm going to mix the frozen pepper blend, the Italian seasoning, the quarter cup flour, the 2 eggs, the tomato sauce, salt and pepper to taste. We'll do that in a minute. So Charlie, while I'm mixing this, please regale us with some story, some very interesting story of your food escapades. Talk to us about Taco Bell, or talk to us about your lovely dinners here. Or talk to us about your paper that's due tonight. Is it done?
Yes.
What was your paper on?
It's
He's
on
in
the
a
path.
beginning college class.
It's on the path to success in
Oh.
college.
He had to write about the path to success in college.
We had to identify barriers, and then we had to identify strategies to overcome those barriers.
Barriers. Did you put your parents as a barrier?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
I put time management, organization, procrastination, and finances.
Okay, so you didn't put your parents. All right, Charles, will you give me
Nancy is celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary today.
happy anniversary to you? Happy anniversary to you.
Let's send some hearts for them.
Let's send
Yay.
love for Nancy and her spouse. Charles, will you do me a favor, please, sweetie?
Yeah.
Will you take the Pam olive oil spray and will you spray my 2 date night pans? I feel for everybody. Anybody can marry and stay married for 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But it's truly a gift when it gets into 10, 15, 20 years plus. Look at all that love for Nancy and for Charlie and for Susan. I am going to
Another
put a
barrier.
blob in each pan.
I didn't even think of communication.
Could you do a 3rd pan, sweetheart?
What-
I put them, oh no, you know what? I don't need a 3rd pan. I'm going to make it do in 2. But thank you. Thank you for being so involved. Thank you for being so caring. Thank you for being so wonderful. Obviously, you want something. So, I am making my 2 loaves for my date night meatloaf. This is called Better Than Your Mom's Meatloaf. I have put the cooking directions. It says 375 for 45 minutes. Again, on cooking day, I will cut the sides to drain some of that excess oil. I'm going to take these gloves off, retire this bowl.
Is this on one of the menus?
It is, if you were fortunate enough to be back in the plan in August or September, I can't remember which month, it was either August or September, you would have had to save it to your favorites. But the nice thing about the rotation of 5 dinners 1 hour is that the meal plans eventually make their way back around. So hang in there. You will probably see it again. What I'm going to do here, this is why I think it's called Better Than My Mom's Meatloaf. You are supposed to lay bacon single file across the top. And generally speaking, unless you really cannot stand bacon, bacon makes anything better. Now, the picture on my notice of my live was borrowed from the 5 dinners 1 hour plan. And I will say, it wasn't the most attractive picture. It kind of looks like a little blob of something wrapped in bacon. And the bacon is curling on the edges. So a lot of people did text me or message me or send me a notice on my Facebook page about what is that? What does it look like? I pre-cut the bacon strips into half because I knew I was going to try this new idea of my date night loaf pans. Date night loaf pans. So, I have 2 meatloafs. I will cover them at the end. They are going to be my date night loaf pans. That'll cover me for an emergency. We'll put one in the freezer. That leads us to 4 meals. We have our black bean and corn quesadillas. We have our sweet teriyaki chicken thighs with broccoli. We have our rainbow vegetables and our barbecue pork chops. We have our Better Than the Mom's Meatloaf. And on cooking day, I will serve that with, don't tell him, mashed cauliflower. He'll think it's mashed potatoes. He has before.
What?
And then I will serve him carrots because carrots will take his mind off anything. He is a big carrot fan.
Oh,
We're talking about my honey.
Oh.
My date night honey. You're my other honey. Last thing we're going to make involves my new Anchor Hocking cookware. And we are going to make, Charles, I need you to spray this pan too, please. We are going to make something featured in April on the classic menu. It's called chicken lasagna. It has been getting rave reviews. So many people are ranting and raving about the chicken lasagna. Now, normally I would cater to Charlie and I would pick out or avoid using anything I would think he wouldn't want. For example, spinach. But this time I'm not going to do that. I'm going to add the spinach. The recipe calls for 2 cups of cooked cubed shredded chicken. Normally I would buy rotisserie chicken and I would do that with rotisserie chicken. However, rotisserie chickens were $8.99 this week. And those of you that saw my grocery receipt on my Facebook page, the pre-shredded, packaged, they call it Deshedras chicken, was only $6.99. So I couldn't pass up the $2 saving. So I'm adding the chicken, the spinach. What else, Charles? I see you holding your hand up.
Cream of onion.
Cream of onion soup, I must say, that was a major challenge for a lot of people. And I had no idea that like a Kroger here is different than a Kroger in Indiana. And a Kroger here may have cream of onion, but a Kroger there may not. So a lot of people substituted cream of celery.
Cream of chicken.
Some people use cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, and then they added onion salt or onion powder.
Had lasagna yesterday. They left out the spinach, but they subbed the cream of chicken, the cream of onion. Wait, no. They subbed the cream of chicken for the cream of onion.
Gotcha.
And it's their favorite.
Okay, so it says to spray my baking dish with nonstick spray, and then I'm going to layer my noodles with my chicken mixture and Colby Jack cheese until all ingredients are used. Okay, so I did a can of cream of onion, a can of cream of mushroom. It calls for a cup of milk. Now, a lot of people are thinking, Susan, what are you doing? You're so much better than this. They think that there's too much liquid in this dish. I would caution you, it's not too much. Because similar to our baked ziti noodle casserole, we are putting these ingredients in dry. So when I go to use the lasagna noodles, I'm going to be using dry noodles. So as the lasagna cooks, it is going to need all of that extra liquid to keep those noodles moist and to ensure that over the cooking time, which the cooking time is 40 to 50 minutes in a 375 degree oven, you're going to want to check not that the meat is cooked through, because this is pre-cooked chicken that's been shredded. It's pre-cooked. The soup is all pre-cooked, mushrooms and everything. You're going to want to check that those noodles are moist and that they're not too al dente, that they're not crackly, that they're not hard. You're going to want those noodles nice and soft for your enjoyment and for your love. So let's mix this up, and then we're going to layer it. We're going to layer it with, we're going to use 9 lasagna noodles. My pan is a little smaller. I didn't want to use my 12 by 14 huge pan because I knew it would primarily be Dale and I knew that it would be hard for me to push Charlie to eat this lasagna. But I know my husband, he'll have a big old slice, I'll have a slice, and then my husband will take it for lunch all week long, and he will love it. So I'm ready to start layering. I'm just looking for a ladle or a big spoon. I don't know where my ladle is, so I guess I'll use a big spoon. And I need my cheese, and it calls for 2 cups of shredded Colby Jack and then a cup of Parmesan. Who can guess where the Parmesan goes? Charles, do you know where the Parmesan would go?
On top?
On top where, honey?
Yep.
On top where?
Yep. On top of the meatloaf?
You know what? Here I am digging for my Parmesan and my Colby Jack, and I already had it out on my counter because you guys know me, I like to be organized and have it out. Alright, so it does go on the top, correct. So we're going to layer. Charlie has sprayed it. I am going to spray it again, not because I don't trust Charlie, but because I don't trust Charlie. He laughed at me. Alright, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. They're hard noodles, they're not wet noodles, so it's kind of hard to keep them in place. We're going to layer the chicken, filling on it. I'm going to make sure that I cover the entire bottom side initially, because again, we don't want those dry noodles to stay dry. We want them to get liquidy, or not liquidy, but soft, chewable.
Janae preps exactly like you.
Which is holding it with one hand here and one hand there, or not measuring everything, or, and do we mean Janae or do we mean Jeannie?
Jeannie?
Okay, is it Jeanne?
Yeah.
It's Jeannie.
Oh.
And she has the most adorable chalkboard that she writes her recipes on. So we have been going now for 45 minutes. This is my 5th meal. A lot of people say, oh, Miss Susan, other people that prep, they get done in 30 minutes. They get done in 25 minutes. Well, you know what? I think some of the other live presenters don't talk as much as I do. They don't engage as much as I do. I'm not saying that's a good thing or bad thing. I'm just saying that Charlie and I take a little bit longer because Charlie and I really, really enjoy the prepping and spending time together. We do need to be wrapping it up though, because Charlie does have to leave here by 6:30 in order to make his class. So I will tell you that I was struggling with my diabetes. I had horrible A1C issues. I had readings of A1C that made me seem like I was the oldest member in my doctor's practice. He was not happy. I stumbled across this plan, and it kind of has saved our life. It has saved my health. It has improved my health a lot. Okay, noodles again, right? And it has also saved us money. We have been struggling and going through bankruptcy, and we needed to cut about $150 from our bill for groceries a month, and we have managed to cut probably more than that. And my husband had to take 2 pay cuts over the last few years due to his job being heavily related to the oil business. I do have a sink full of dirty dishes. Normally I have less than that, but tonight I really wanted to make sure that I made this lasagna. I wanted to make sure that I made the meatloaf. I am a big fan of the 5 dinners in 1 hour, 5 ingredient or less dishes, or 1 pan cooking, or no cooking. Or you don't have to do any cooking on some of them, like on the cold salads. But it really has made a difference. It also has kind of saved my relationship with Charlie. We were getting to a point where, because he was looking for a job for so long, we were kind of snapping at each other and on each other's nerves. But things are going good. Charlie got a job. Dale is getting part of his cut salary back. Susan's health is stabilizing and staying better. And I'm meeting such wonderful friends and such wonderful people through the 5 Dinners 1 Hour community page. For those of you that came over and joined me here, I'm going to be signing off. Charlie, would you like to come say goodnight to everybody? We have done 5 dinners in 1 hour. We have date night, better than your mom's meatloaf. We have the barbecue pork and rainbow vegetables. We have the black bean and corn quesadillas. We have lots of love. Please do lots of shares. Did we make our shares?
We hit 29.
We hit 29 shares. Thank you so much. I can't begin to tell you how much joy it brings me to share with you. So thank you for joining us. We're going to let Charlie take off for school. So have a good night. If you're driving home, drive safely. You can watch the video later. Thank you for joining.